We're here in the International Students for Liberty Conference with Dave Weigel, a reporter for Slate. We've been trying to do an interview for several years, and finally we've been able to do it, Dave.
I'm always covering something.
Okay, because you're a hard worker. I was just commenting on your natural inquisitiveness and how that makes for a good reporter. Behind your back, I said that.
That's good.
Okay. Anyway, let's get your take on government. Do you think that the government should protect the citizens against environmental hazards?
I think it should. I mean, Now, if you're in America, the issue is always we have a constitution that delineates what specifically the government's supposed to be doing. I don't think that means there's stuff in the penumbra that the government that shouldn't be involving itself in, and that's one of them. I mean, there are a lot of hazards that would be unpoliced and then litigated after they did damage if there wasn't some sort of regulations for policing.
Should the government protect its citizens against people that want to use force to take their money?
Well, because using force to take the money in what way? Robbing, or just complete coercion like taxation, which is then enforced by?
In either case, let's deal with the robbing first.
Well, in that case, yeah, there's not really a social contract that you enter into that says somebody can stop you at random and take money from you. I guess there is one that we enter into, maybe not always willingly, that says we will have to pay a certain amount of tax, and then if we're not, we're punished. But we do that with everything. If we sign up for a credit card and don't, or a mortgage or something in the private sector, we expect the state to come and police us. We try to avoid it usually, but I think that principle, certainly. As a reporter, when it comes to terms of pure theft or things like that, I don't have a problem with.
So the government should protect us against robbers who want to use force to take our money. That you would agree that the government should do?
Yeah.
Okay, but if a group of citizens organize politically and they're able to pass a law requiring the taxpayers to give them money for free, then that's okay.
See, taxpayers give the money for free.
Yeah, let me give you an example. Say like farmers. The farmers, if they came to your door and required you to give them money for not farming, that would be immoral, right?
Oh yeah, but that's.
But if they organize politically, and they're able to persuade the government to pass a law requiring you to pay them money for not farming, then that's okay.
Well, that's basically a hypothetical version of the way the system actually works. And I cover the way the system works. I have problems with some of the enforcement, some of the graft and greed that ends up getting embedded in that system. But generally, if you are able to get a bill passed through two houses of Congress and it is beneficial to one group, you're going to get redistribution. The comeuppance is going to come if a different group of people get something passed through two Congress past the president.
Right. We agree that that's the way it works. I'm trying to ask you if you think the government should do that. In other words, should the government redistribute its citizens' wealth by forcefully taking money from some citizens through taxes in order to provide free goods and services for other people? Not as services for the taxpayer, but free goods and services for other people.
I think there are good arguments for that. For that, you can phrase it. Anything you can phrase in the most.
Well, let's hear the good arguments.
I think the the EITC, Earned Income Tax Credit. There's a lot of good basis for that. Of having a certain base income for some people that they're going to use on goods and services. That's redistribution. That's going to be given to them by taxing people who are more successful, possibly smarter, possibly born into it. For whatever reason, they're going to have to pay taxes to give a refund to somebody who maybe didn't earn that. But the economic effects, I think, have borne out that that's a good idea, and that's. When you say if you talk about whether something's a libertarian idea or not, people are going to disagree on that. But that's something Milton Friedman was for. That's something a lot of mainstream libertarians are for. A lot of conservatives I talk to, it's not ideal. You would love for there to be a state of nature where people could work out their own arrangements at all times, complete freedom. But that's an ideal. And as we've got the system we have and the inequalities we have. I'm seeing the born inequalities. I mean, some people are just not going to succeed the way that a multimillionaire does, or some people are going to be at a lower economic status. I think that there have been good reasons for redistributing in that way. Yeah.
So what is the benefit of giving foreign aid, or so let's take that one. So you think that the government should give foreign aid? They should forcefully take the money from the American citizens in order to give it to people in other countries.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the concept of it. Yeah.
Well, is the government protecting those taxpayers against these people from the foreign countries that want to take our money by force?
I don't know what do you mean?
Well, are the taxes forceful? Are you forced to pay taxes?
Yeah, if you're above a certain income, yes, you're forced to pay taxes. You're forced to obey traffic
Right. The people
laws.
that pay taxes pay them under threat of force, incarceration.
Everything
Right,
you do
right.
in this society or another one that has system of law. Yeah.
So is it right to force some people to pay for benefits for others?
No, I think we established that. Yeah. I mean, if you describe
What
it
is
as force,
do you think it's morally wrong to initiate physical force against someone who hasn't violated anybody's rights?
but that's just kind of a like college freshman way of thinking about it. I know that you can frame every single action the government takes that way. I don't think it's terribly productive. I mean, it's you have no state if every
No,
if I loan you money.
Let me clarify something.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about taxing people in order to provide services to the taxpayer. I'm talking about taxing people in order to give that money to someone else.
Yeah.
And that's one is redistributive taxing, and the other one isn't. That's the difference between a limited government and a welfare state. So when you have a welfare state, you're initiating force against the taxpayers. You're not providing a service to them. You're giving the money for free goods and services for other people. Isn't that morally wrong according to your values of non-initiating physical force?
I don't think so. I think we agree to live in that system.
So you think it's okay to initiate physical force?
No, I'm not going to accept your framing of it.
So you don't think they are initiating physical force?
No, I don't think so.
So when the government forcefully takes their money through taxes, that's not an action?
No.
Taxation is not an action?
No.
What is it?
It's something we've agreed to do.
But that's not an action to force somebody to pay money to give to other people. That's not an action.
No, I don't think it is.
Is it a description of a noun or of a thing? It's an action. Taxation is an action.